thy art is murder, more like thy fart is murder, more like thy art is drama, more like thy band is a mess, more like what is happening. The past 24 hours have been absolutely crazy. Oh my god, I've had to re-record this review because of this nonsense. And it's only gonna get worse because some people are having meltdowns over this because God forbid people be held accountable for their actions. Oh, the horror. Oh, what is wrong with the world? What's happening to us, Anna? What is happening? I don't get it anymore. I just don't get it. Good morning, metalheads of the internet, and welcome to a brand new episode of the Metal Meltdown. Today we are talking about the latest studio album from Australian deathcore crew Thy Art Is Murder, entitled Godlike. This is their 6th full-length studio album, their first being released independently via Human Warfare Records, and also, surprise, breaking news, their first album without lead singer, now former lead singer, I should say, CJ McMahon on lead vocals. And the manner in which he has been ousted from the band is unintentionally going to make this one of the most divisive and controversial metal albums of 2023. For those of you somehow unaware, first off, congratulations on not being as chronically online as the rest of us. I'm a little jealous of you right now. And second, CJ's not in the band, and apparently Thy Art Is Murder and CJ haven't seen eye to eye on a whole lot of stuff, music and not music stuff, for quite some time now. At least a portion of this divide can be attributed to some recent comments made by CJ on social media that have been received and recognized as being cruel and transphobic. But as Thy Art Is Murder puts it, what transpired over the past month was not the cause of this action, but just another symptom of the drawn-out breakdown in his character and judgment. The straw that broke the camel's back, if you will. Long story short, the fallout has been immense. We were lobbed with threats to destroy Thy Art Is Murder from the inside if we did not capitulate to various ideologies that he holds. Everyone has their own right to free speech and to seek their truth. They are also free to receive the consequences that come with it. The reaction online has been mixed, shall we say, but leaning towards not great. There has been a lot of support, but there's also been a lot of crying and bitching and moaning and screaming. And it doesn't help either that modern metal's biggest bigot, bully, and narcissist Ronnie Radke is screaming on Twitter, losing his goddamn mind, even though it's not his goddamn band, but suggesting that everyone should boycott Thy Art Is Murder. How ironic. The man who's constantly crying about cancel culture wants us to cancel Thy Art Is Murder. Mwah. Totally forgot to mention, I don't know how, but whatever. They never told CJ that he wasn't in the band. They just straight up got a new singer and re-recorded the entire album without him. That's why the album was delayed for a week. And that's why CJ was so taken aback by everything on Instagram. The day of this album's release, he was still promoting this thing online under the assumption that he was on the album, even though that was not the case. So, yeah. Look, y'all are free to think whatever you like of all this drama, this gossip, this whatever the fuck, but personally, I thought this was a pretty ballsy move by Thy Art Is Murder. It's nice to see that right now they've been sticking to their guns, and they're like, nope, this is what we're doing, and you're just gonna have to fucking suck it up. Mad respect. I don't know who the new singer is. A lot of people are theorizing and gossiping about that as well. I can tell you that whoever this new singer is singing his fucking guts out on here, and is actually doing a very good job at imitating CJ's vocal style across the record. Like, I legitimately could not tell the difference at first. In fact, I so badly could not tell the difference that I recorded an entire review praising the shit out of CJ for his vocals, hence why we have to do a new video right fucking now. As far as the rest of Godlike is concerned, it's more or less standard fare for Thy Art is Murder. I will say this is their most cohesive and punishing record to date, even if it doesn't stray too far from their formula. With that comes a slew of stereotypes and cliches normally associated with the deathcore genre, and overusage of kill switch and compression, a lot of triplet grooves and ham-fisted breakdowns and all that. But to the band's credit, there are some extra spices and garnishes that do add a little bit of extra legitimate flavor to this deathcore stew. Bloodthrone, for instance, has some subtle electronics and some really punchy, muscular grooves that kind of gives this like a mid-90s industrial groove metal kind of vibe. Like, imagine Fear Factory, but stripped down of a lot of the most like industrial components. Then there's Bermuda, which has these very haunting clean vocals and these ominous droning guitars and passages, and when that kind of comes into contact with the more extreme elements, it turns into something legitimately pretty cathartic and cinematic, a great way to close out the record. Tracks like Caress, Lesson in Pain, Anathema have some substantially more brutal and explosive little barrages from time to time. Like, there's a lot of energy, a lot of momentum, a lot of power. Anathema especially does a great job at balancing a bunch of different elements and ideas from across the extreme metal spectrum. Like, at times it kind of feels like a brutal death metal song, at times it kind of feels like a blackened death metal song, at other times it feels more akin to like something a younger deathcore band might put out. I would describe this as if like pre-Immortal Lorna Shore tried to do like a mid-2000s Behemoth cut. Everyone across the record, too, is firing on all fucking cylinders, too. Not just our brand new mystery singer. Drums, guitar, bass. And the production is pretty solid here, too, even if it is slightly compressed and muddled in its most hectic and frantic and manic moments. I will say that Lesson in Pain feels a little bit confused with its, like, djenty guitar squeals and its, like, big, like, metallic hardcore outbursts. It kind of feels like they're trying to do something like Code Orange-esque, but they're just not really that confident in it. There are at least a couple of duds bringing this thing down as well. In fact, it even opens on one of its most generic and predictable cuts, Destroyer of Dreams, which is basically literally paint-by-numbers deathcore. Like, whatever image you have right now of the most stereotypical deathcore song in your mind, that is Destroyer of Dreams right there. There's also some cringy fucking lyrics about like shadow governments and such, and it's got me simultaneously like rolling my eyes and fucking snoozing. Controversy aside, warts and all, this is the most I've been invested in and entertained by any Thy Art is Murder album really ever. I'm feeling a solid middle of the road 3 out of 5 on this bad boy. I honestly think it's a pretty decent record. I will say I didn't enjoy it much on my very first listen. I was ready to dismiss it as being a pretty boring deathcore record, but like listening to it kind of go along and introduce different progressions and flavors and ideas, and you know, just kind of getting into the flow of it, like it opened up to me. I warmed up to this thing. And before someone says it, no, my decision has not at all been influenced by this drama or the fact that CJ's not in the band. The original review that I filmed, I also gave this album a 3 out of 5, so shut the fuck up. It's going to be interesting to see in the future how people continue to respond and react to this record. Again, I do think because of the drama and controversy surrounding this thing, because of the manner in which CJ has been ousted from the band, because of what led up to that, I feel like this is going to end up being one of the most divisive and controversial albums of 2023. Personally, y'all talk to me all the time about separating the art from the artist. I'm going to say the same thing to y'all now. Do that. The motherfuckers that were giving me shit earlier in the year for not sucking Ronnie Radke's dick and screaming, "We'll separate the art from the artist." Right back at you, dude. Right back at ya. And that is it for the Metal Meltdown. I'm not an expert, nor do I claim to be. So what do you think? Do you like this record? Do you not like this record? And what do you want to hear from me next? And thank you for watching. Make sure you press subscribe right here so you get updates on the Metal Meltdown fucking immediately. Follow us on social media. Check out some merch on Redbubble. Fucking join us on Discord. Check out these other videos here. And as always, you have yourself a fantastic fucking day.